There are so many similar stories told by so many survivors.
I guess the thing that's most compelling to me as a clinician is to hear reports from a variety of patients who do not have contact with each other, who report very similar stories.
While most ritual abuse cases never come to trial, there have been several criminal prosecutions that resulted in convictions. In most cases, the ritual aspect was not introduced in court, but was clearly indicated by the accounts of the victims. Numerous civil cases incorporating claims of ritual abuse have been successfully litigated.
In Dade County, Florida, Frank Fuster and his wife were convicted of ritually abusing children at the daycare center they operated in their home. Children at the center said the Fusters made them drink urine.
Molested kids in the city of Manhattan Beach have told the sheriff's department.
7 nursery school teachers were arraigned today on more than 100 counts of child molestation.
The accused include the preschool owner, 76-year-old Virginia McMartin, her daughter, and 2 grandchildren.
Ray Bucky was the grandson of the
school games. The case horrified the community, and the prosecutor called the Fusters' systematic abuse of the children, quote, outrageous.
In the very places created to care for children, in nurseries and daycare centers across the nation, there are increasing reports of ritual sexual abuse.
Allegations of physical and sexual abuse of children at a babysitting service, dark world of ritualistic child abuse.
There's a widely held opinion that what happened at the daycare was the devil's handiwork.
There was an explosion of daycare sex abuse scandals, like the Kelly Michaels case, in the last decade. The most notorious, perhaps the one that ignited them all, happened at the McMartin preschool in Manhattan Beach, California.
Let's talk about the McMartin case.
In 1983, a mother of one of the Manhattan Beach, California preschools, known as the McMartin Preschool, reported to police that her son had been sodomized. It was reported that the child had bleeding coming out of his rectum, and he was...
Now, that guy you just saw, that was Ted Gunderson that said, let's talk about this case. He's the one that broke everything wide open about Omaha, Offutt Air Force Base in Bellevue, Nebraska, right outside Omaha, the police covering it up, the FBI covering it up, it allegedly involving children going to the White House and being shipped on planes from the military base internationally. And the Catholic Church being involved, go look that up. It's crazy. It's no wonder Omaha doesn't like me anymore, right? But anyway, yeah, let's talk about SPM, right? When all this stuff's going on. Go ahead and research all this before you, try to single individuals out. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying, like, there's way bigger fish out here, but you ain't doing nothing. In fact, a lot of the people that are pointing fingers, when you look at them, just looking at them, they look like the type that would kidnap children and sell them. But hey, we won't go there, right?
Telling police officers about the sexual abuse that he had endured.
Which, by the way, why do these YouTubers have such a problem with me? I've been exposing this stuff for 10 or 15 years. All this stuff. Like, I mean, look at Pink Piccolo. Does he not look like someone that, like a ringleader of this shit?
A teacher at the McMartin preschool, Ray Bucky.
But it quickly grew.
More than 100 counts of child with 208 counts.
Until there were 7 defendants.
More than 300 charges.
And hundreds of charges.
Over 1,200 children came forward and reported that they had been victims of not only sexual abuse, but being forced to perform sexual acts on adults as well.
Over 1,200 children from one school. You know what they did when Ted Gunderson wanted to go investigate? Because there were supposed to be tunnels under that school. That's how they were transporting them. They were taking them under the tunnels, just like the mental institutes, right? And then putting them in cars and doing what they did, and then they'd bring them back into school through the tunnels by the end of the day, right? Yeah. They demolished that school. They bulldozed it. And then Ted Gunderson had got an archaeologist. He had to jump through a bunch of hoops because, of course, the police and everybody's covering it up while you say back the blue, but especially the sheriffs, obviously, in this case. But he got an archaeologist to go dig it up and all that. He said, yes, there were tunnels here, but they didn't find anything. And Ted Gunderson had photos and all this stuff. He put them safely with somebody. They disappeared, all kinds of shit. Go look into it. While you want to point your fingers, you're a bunch of internet weirdos, dude. A bunch of YouTube trolls, and just you people got no credibility.
now believe that at least 60 young children were victimized, and that the ultimate number could well be much greater.
1,400 children in this community have been ritualistically abused.
Those children, some of them
1,400 children in one community. And you would think that with all this going on, you would think that the police would know about it, the sheriffs would know about it, they'd be going and stopping it, but they're not. Oh, but you know, of course, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, all these ultra-rich celebrities, they're too busy. They don't know nothing about this stuff, right? They're too busy trying to decide who's allowed to speak and acting like they're God, right? Yeah.
as 2 years old were photographed by the suspects.
Kitty porn was the primary purpose for the alleged sexual abuse of children.
Some children allege that a living creature was sacrificed on the church's altar.
The truth about Satanism is they truly do use blood, and they mix it with urine, and then they also use the real meat, the real flesh. This is what makes Satanism true. And this is what 1,200 molested kids in the city of Manhattan Beach have told the Sheriff's Department.
7 nurseries.
The Sheriff's Department.